welcome to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle, The Ben Show. I'm your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck. As always, we love hearing from you. Your comments, stories, ideas, get a hold of us anytime. Call or text 305-900-2363. Again, that's 305-900-2363. Or you can always drop an email to bendradioshow@gmail.com. Right alongside Shotgun, and also as my producer and sound engineer, Jeff Tigger Earhart is in the house. What are you folding your arms for over there?
You called me old a little bit ago because this is how we do things. We are very transparent with everyone. We're very open about our lives, and I've had to start using readers. I'm not crazy about it, so those of you that have readers, you know that you've got 156 pair all over the place, right? And in the last couple months, you've been getting severe headaches, and you're having a problem. My eyesight, this. So today, I just said, try this out, look at this, read this, and look at it, and then put my readers on. Does it make a difference? Yes. And I said, bam, you are a candidate. You are going to have to start using readers.
I am not okay with this. Here's the dealio, okay, too. We are a 6-year difference between Tigger and I. There's 6 years difference. And secondly, I have had to look at a lot of screens for most of my life, like so many of other people, but you, Tigger, also would. I know you're on the same boat as me. But
it's not easy looking at this stuff all day long.
It's taken, and it has wreaked havoc on our eyesight. That's what I'm going to say. And I've been having a hard time coming to terms with that as a career moves forward. Everything evolves around technology. That sadly, parts of our body, like our eyes, are wearing out much earlier than they should typically wear out. Like and I are not at the age where we should have readers, or at least I'm not.
I totally agree with that. And I hate this saying, but it's true. It is what it is.
Fine, you sound like my mother right now.
We just got to have them. And I mean, it was a realization a year ago when I was announcing a rodeo and I could not read any of the notes. I couldn't read anything. And I finally had to have somebody go to the truck and grab my readers because I didn't have a pair with me and get some because I just could not read anything.
Well, now we're going to help everybody out because since you open Pandora's box, we might as well give them a fix if they're on the go and they're also sitting there going, I have to use readers too. And you've got them sitting in your fencing bucket and you've got them laying in the console of your truck. We came across readers for Tigger this spring that are the most and neatest, coolest little gadget ever. It is the size of a key fob. Yeah, I'm not kidding you.
These are super neat. We had some friends over, and a buddy of ours pulled these out. They are called Thin Optics.
Thin Optics.
They were like $10, and this one is on a key fob, and it's just they rest on your nose. They're what would you say that is? About 3 inches, 3.5 inches is wide is all it is, something like that. And
the key fob is?
Well, no, the actual glasses.
The glasses you put, that's more than, that's like closer to 4 inches wide.
See, that's why you need readers. You can't even see them. But
regardless,
that way I have a pair on me.
If you go on Amazon, check them out. Again, they're called, what was it, Tigger? I can't see
it. Thin Optics.
Amazon.com, Thin Optics.
$10.
They're not a sponsor. They have saved us a lot of arguments from not happening.
Now I've got readers everywhere I go. See, Beck, join the club. All right, what are we doing today?
All right, first off,
other than arguing,
we've got a full show. I have some question comments that came this way that want to kind of run through here in the beginning of the show. Then the middle part, you said you had something you wanted to talk to me about.
Well, we had some people that, they emailed me actually. It was in regards to the vacation business because your family had a vacation business for a number of years. So we are going to answer those specific questions. That's going to be coming up a little later on in the show.
So we're talking agritourism.
You got it.
All right. First off, let's see. What hit my news wires was how the weather has been quite chaotic across the United States. And after last week's show, we had talked about some definitely must-dos before you head out with the RV camper. And had some folks come back saying, yeah, we have a few more to add to it. And that revolves, excuse me, I keep using the wrong word there. Revolves.
You need your readers so
around.
You can read your notes.
Shh, don't even start.
You can borrow mine.
Wind. That was the issue, was wind. They were unprepared to drive their said RV in the wind. Didn't realize the little tips, tricks, whatever it is to kind of conquer traveling through the wind, whether you're driving an RV or pulling a camper. So here, I just thought I'd throw a couple of these at you. First off, make sure, again, you talk to your dealer, whoever you purchase your camper or RV from, to find out how the tolerances is with wind. But be prepared that if soon as you hit 25, 30 mile per hour winds, you're going to have to slow down much slower than what you're driving right now.
And the other calculation that this bit us when we were budgeting this very thing here not long ago was the fuel economy.
Exactly.
We were trying to run this very tight to the wires, and it didn't work. That just bit us right there, and I thought we were get better fuel economy, and nope, it was cut in half.
Your fuel economy is going out the window. You're going to be driving significantly slower than you had planned to drive. You're going to be driving with both hands on the wheel, and I'm one of those that's guilty. I drive with one hand all the time. When it's windy and you're pulling something like that, you have to have both hands on the wheel and, just be very safe. Then here came the other question. Someone came at me and they said, what about camping in the stormy weather? We just had horrible stuff come through and ended up wrecking the awning on said RV. Yeah, that's the number one thing right there. If you're going and moving your campsite or getting a campsite and you know that there is possibly bad weather coming in, you're going to make sure, A, you're not parking underneath a tree. B, you're going to park your RV, recreational vehicle, or your trailer into the wind, because we don't want that. Baby,
if possible,
flipping over, if possible. And if you are pulling something, you're going to keep it hooked up to your rig if you can. But you're definitely going to put your stabilizers down. You're going to chock your wheels. And, the other thing is say you are all set up for camp and you're heading into town to go have lunch and the weather looks great. This is the other mistake I see people do again and again, and that is they leave their campsite all set up. It looks perfect with their awning out. And I keep bringing up the word awning because they get expensive to replace. Don't leave that baby out. If you're leaving your campsite, retract it. Just be on the safer side. Okay, a wind can come up from anywhere.
We just had this happen a week ago where we're at, that a storm came up, and I think that's how a lot of them have went. They've come up very, very, very fast. This one actually had tornadoes in it, had hail, and some people on this side of the lake weren't affected, but this side of the lake was. And I know that there was some campers that were overturned and that very thing that you're talking about.
So, be safe. Know where the shelters are, especially in case you have to leave your campsite. Make sure you know again where that safety spot is, and everybody in your party is on the same page as you are. But keep sending in those comments, those ideas, those suggestions. We love hearing from you. We're going to take a short break, and we come back, we're talking agritourism. You're listening to The Ben Show.
Do you want to promote your product or your event? You want to get in front of the right audience? You want to make your business grow, take it to the next level. You need more, and that's where Beck and I come in. We can help. Drop us a message and find out more today.
This is Beck. First, I appreciate all of you for listening and making The Bend part of your week. Many of you have asked, how do I catch past episodes? The answer is super easy. Head to thebendshow.com and click on the shows tab. There you can listen to every episode all the way back to episode 1. Podcasters, head to your favorite podcasting app and search The Bend. You'll find us. Be sure to follow and subscribe and never miss another episode again. You've waited, dreamt of a hunting adventure, and now have harvested that trophy of a lifetime. Keep the memory alive with a custom-designed mount, preserved as a work of art. Check out our approved taxidermist depending on your location. The award-winning Schneider Taxidermy is located in Helena, Montana. When hunting the Dakotas, JB's Wildlife Designs in Mandan, North Dakota. Then Shadwin Creek Taxidermy in Nebraska. And for the Central USA, Little Rack Taxidermy in Macomb, Illinois. Reach out to The Ben Show and let us help you find the right taxidermist. Welcome back to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle, The Ben Show. I am your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck, and riding along shotgun, as always, my co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart. Now, before break, we said we are going to be flipping the seats on this, I guess. We're doing a Q&A. I'm in the interviewee seat,
You're in
and
the hot
Tigger is taking control and taking the reins. So what do you got for me?
This was in regards to an email that I received. This was technically to ask you some particular questions and to bring y'all up to speed. Your family had a vacation business for a number of years, a working ranch, but you would have guests that would come out. And we've talked a lot this spring about budgeting for your vacation and where you're going to go. And, of course, we support being local, exploring your backyard. You say that all the time, look in your backyard. And so I did a little research on this, and I found out, now these are just general numbers, that 36% of people planning a summer vacation are willing to go into debt for their travels. That's a little nerve-wracking, that you got to go into debt, right, to go and take a vacation. And 60% of people surveyed are not planning a vacation this summer because they said they can't afford to go on a trip. Well, these particular individuals were looking at guest ranches that were close because we said, look in your own backyard. There might be an adventure that's just 100 miles down the road or something like that. And they remembered that your family had a vacation business on the ranch and had some questions for you. So before I get into these specific questions, just give us the background of what your family did. You don't anymore, but what your family did.
All right. Yes, as Tigger said, our family, we have been a working ranch for a very long time. However, it came about when I was in high school that it looked as though we needed to diversify, okay? We needed to bring another income into the ranch. Supplemental, because the cattle just wasn't quite enough. And that is where we branched into the agritourism business and offered a ranch experience. So guests were able to come and participate in brandings, roundups. If we were trailing cattle to different pastures for rotational grazing, they were able to also then partake in activities on the river because we lived on the Knife River, so they could do their canoeing and fishing and swimming and still help out. If we wanted to fix fence, they got to learn how to fix fence. If they wanted to learn how to really ride horse, they got to. Our horses were all ranch horses, but us, my brothers and I, we trained them ourselves so that anybody could ride them and gave you the real authentic experience. This wasn't a nose to tail operation dude ranch. This was a true working ranch.
This was legit.
You got on a horse, we were giving you roping lessons, and you became part of the crew.
So they could stay in cabins that were on the place in little lodges, and they could also bring a camper too. Was that right?
We had 6 cabins that slept up to 30 people, and then also had a lodge in which my mom cooked home-style meals. Every night we sat down, and I should say breakfast, dinner, and supper were all held together at family style. So everybody was encouraged to engage with one another, which is also what made the experience even more real and authentic, is that you actually got to know these people on and off the trail throughout that day or a couple of days or a week if you were with us. You were only allowed to bring in campers if you rented out the entire facility for, a family reunion.
Gotcha, okay.
But other than that, just to kind of keep control of it, because as you can imagine, that can get to be a lot of people to be watching and having around livestock and haying and all of that.
So you needed to maintain the working ranch at the exact same time that you need to cater to your guests that are out there.
Yes.
And these are the specific questions, and that they had for you is, what kinds of questions do they need to ask that working ranch that offers this? What kinds of questions? Is it about what they will be doing, what they could be experiencing? Because that could affect if they will go and stay there or not. So what kind of questions should they ask someplace that they're fixing to stay at?
Well, first off, I think you have to look at yourself, because rural life inherently is physical, right? So you have to first decide on yourself, what is your activity level that you're willing to get involved with? Are you somebody that's in fairly good, decent shape and you feel like, you know what, I can handle this? Or are you somebody that has some maybe physical ailments that don't quite let you keep up? That will make a decision on what time of year maybe you're coming or what activities you're going to be able to do. Secondly, look at the group of people that's going with you. Now, are you bringing your kids? Now you got to look at what ages are those kids. If you're thinking you want to do horseback riding, when you ask, say, a working ranch, you need to find out what are their age requirements? What are the height requirements? Are there any weight stipulations on the heavy side? For example, for our sake, with our horses, you had to be able to get on the horse by yourself.
Gotcha.
Not using a block or anything.
Or
Nope. You had to be able to, because those horses can only handle so much weight as well. And that can be a touchy subject that you don't want to have when you're right there ready to go out with everybody.
I get it.
Okay.
So time of year also would dictate maybe what they will be doing. If it's more kind of this time of year, like you said, trailing cattle to pasture or moving animals around as we're moving them to our summer grazing.
So here's a great example. If you find out you want to go and you have younger kids and you want the kids, they're too young to ride, okay? Usually, I think insurance policies, honestly, on working ranches usually say the kids have to be anywhere from 8 to 9, maybe even 10 years old. You'll have to double check with them. But regardless, if you have real little kids, it's kind of fun to be there in the spring and they get to see the baby calves. Maybe they get to help feed a baby calf. There are still hands-on things they can do. They can ride around in the ranch pickup when you go to take calves. All those things are experiences that those kids are going to remember forever. But if they're older, summer, yes, you're going out and you're doing some trailing cattle. You're rounding things up in the fall. You're pulling bulls maybe in the fall. There's a lot of different activities on a ranch that you can be involved in, but you can pick and choose. But the other bigger part is to also find out what are the amenities at that ranch. For example, a lot of times cabins like ours, we did not have bathrooms. We had a central bathhouse. Are you okay with that?
I never thought about that. That's a good point.
Are you okay with...
Some places may have AC, some don't.
Exactly. Ours did not have AC. So you have to think outside the box and realize you might not have all of those wonderful luxuries you have at home. Our cabins also did not have TVs either.
Oh.
You had to go to the lodge for TV. And on these farms and ranches in agritourism, when you get outside in a little more remote areas, remember, your cell phone is not always going to work.
And that is the case to this day at your place.
Yes.
At the certain areas, you got to kind of go up on top of the hill if you want to be able to Snapchat or something.
So if you're thinking you're going to take your family for a week and remote work from said destination, which is very popular right now to do, is to take the family and you call it a work vacation, so that work kind of picks up the travel bill a little bit and you can have some fun with the family at the same time. You have to check on those big amenities right there. The internet service, your phone service, all that there's a lot there. And I'm going to put this list together. Now you got my wheels a turning, Tigger, on things to ask and things to pack and be prepared with. Head to thebenshow.com and I will have a nice list for you.
Well, there's a lot of different things to consider. And both of these individuals, it was that scenario that I said within 100 miles. There was guest farms and ranches that were available there, and they were looking into them, but they wanted your opinion of what some of those questions to ask. And you bring up some very, very, very good points about the internet and if there's television and what your family may or may not be doing in those expectations. So I think people would appreciate that if you would kind of put together a little list for them they can check out.
All I can say is if you're somebody right now who's driving down the road and you've always dreamed about going to a ranch or a farm, please do it. Please do
Absolutely.
it. Take the time. You won't regret it. Even if it costs you a little extra, you won't regret it. And know what? Really search out those authentic, real ranches and farms that are diving into this industry of agritourism, because then you're going to get that authentic experience that you're searching for.
And they're set up for you versus just come in when Beck and I are working cows. And you probably don't want to bring in the youngins because we're using certain adjectives to describe everything that's going on. That's all I got for you, Beck, so far.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to The Ben Show.
It's super easy to get a hold of Beck, and we want to hear any story that you may have or just what's happening around your bend. 305-900-2363. That's the hotline. Leave a message. Send a text. 305-900-2363.
Pro rodeo fans, watch the Cowboy Channel anytime, anywhere with PRCA on the Cowboy Channel Plus. Live stream the Cowboy Channel or watch your favorite PRCA rodeos on demand. Classic PRCA rodeos added weekly. Get the PRCA on the Cowboy Channel Plus for only $9.99 a month or save 25% by signing up for a full year. Visit CowboyChannelPlus.com to sign up and start streaming today.
Hey guys and gals, this is John Arman with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV travels the back roads to the backwaters in pursuit of the ultimate adventure in hunting and fishing. Join Team UOA every week for exciting action in the crosshairs of the outdoors. Catch Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV on YouTube, Amazon Prime, and make sure to follow Team UOA on Facebook and Instagram to share in the ultimate outdoor adventure.
Before you head to the next rodeo, a concert, maybe a gathering on or off the ranch, we head to Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Tigger and Beck here for Medora Boot and Western Wear. Latest Western fashion in boots, jackets, and hats.
From durable ranch wear to keeping the horses in sturdy tack, visit medoraboot.com to order.
Or better yet, plan to visit Medora, North Dakota and shop Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Again, go to medoraboot.com. You can follow on Facebook and tell them Tigger and Beck sent you.
Welcome back to The Ben Show, your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle. I'm your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck, and Ride Along Shotgun, my co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart. Over break, we got asked a couple of more questions, so we're going to do a quick Q&A on these regarding what we were talking about earlier, about visiting a real working ranch.
The agritourism.
The agritourism. Okay, first off, weather. Yeah, you know what? You go to any ranch or farm, I'm going to tell you, for some reason, it feels like you get all 4 seasons in a matter of 24 hours.
Same way as camping, fishing.
Dress in layers, okay? That's the number one thing, and to be comfortable in all the weather. Next question I was asked is there anything specific we should wear if we're going to be around horses or livestock? All right, here is what I got to tell you. Make sure you have long pants, okay? And preferably jeans or something made out of like a stronger material, like how Carhartts are.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
But make sure you have long pants, all right? This is not where you show up in capris either, ladies. I'm sorry. The next thing is to have a light, long sleeve shirt, along, okay? Something light to cover up your arms so you don't always get sunburned. You're not always exposed. You're going to be, and you can jump in here, Tigger, if I'm crazy on any of these.
You're not crazy. I wear long sleeves all the time. I mean, you know that in the summertime.
The next number one, so now you got long pants you have to have on. You've got a light long sleeve shirt. Thirdly, this is a big one. No open-toed shoes.
Amen.
Especially if you're going to ride horse or be near any livestock. Guess what? You're not going to be able to get on that horse if you have sandals. They're not going to let you near any of the livestock.
And
okay?
It's not just because you might get your feet stepped on, but it's to be in the stirrups. Yeah, that's not acceptable. So just right now, I'm going to tell you, you can get away with tennis shoes, yes, and long socks, but preferably, yes, a boot with a heel is preferred. And I'm going to also recommend for comfortability, because sometimes those stirrups can rub on your legs, wear long, tall socks, okay? Those big, tall socks, wear a pair.